Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And one of the key topic which many people have been talking about a lot, and that many people are not talking about it at the same time, is about where is God in all of this? Where's God in the government? Is anybody's gonna go and touch that minister, that government, and say it is you? Who is that minister is gonna do it? Gary, Mr. Graham, Reverend Graham, what's your take on that? You know, where's God in all? Where's God in all of this? Whole COVID, war, earthquake going on in Turkey. Where's God?
Where is God in all of this?
Yes.
God is there. Um, I believe that when we look at the scriptures, especially let us say probably in the book of Revelation, I think,
Yeah.
well, even before we get there,
Mm.
in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus Christ talking to his disciples, he didn't say that, well, a war is going to break out in Turkey
Mm.
or in Ukraine, and
Yeah.
Turkey is not going to have an earthquake, and COVID-19 is not going to break out worldwide. No, Christ never said that. But what he did say was that there would be wars and rumors of wars, that
Yeah.
there would be earthquakes in diverse places, that there would be
Mm.
famines and pestilence.
Mm.
So, so looking at what is taking place in our day, and the question or the statement could then be asked, well, there's always been some kind of war or some rumor of a war, or look at the Black Plague, or look at the smallpox pandemic or the measles pandemic.
Mm.
At that time, it was bad then. What the difference is, in my estimation, my
Yeah.
friend, is that it's the frequency of these things happening now. It's the frequency. Look at, for instance, look at the earthquakes in Turkey. Now, I can't remember the dates, but after one major earthquake, in the 24 hours after that earthquake took place, there was over 5,000 aftershocks.
Yes. Yes.
Now, now that's not normal.
Mm.
That's not normal. And I think that as the Bible more or less refers to birth pains, as a woman travails, and I even think it was Christ who kind of alluded to that.
Yes.
These things, I mean, you and I have experienced in the sense that our wives have been pregnant, they've been expecting, and as the babe is about to come,
Mm.
the rhythm of the contractions begins to increase
Yes.
until at that particular moment when she has to push, she
Yes.
has to, let's use the words or the phrase, get rid of that baby, in the sense of the babe has come to full term. That babe cannot live in her any longer, or
Yes.
it's going to kill her. So it's just like that in our world today, that
Mm.
God is very, very much a part of um, life. God is very much orchestrating things, because remember, He's coming again.
It's very interesting you mentioned that because from we were growing up, we always hear that there's going to be wars and rumors of war, earthquakes and pestilence and everything. And it says, look up, because that's where your Redeemer. Do you believe then, in our final bit, do you believe that we're on the threshold of the great coming based on
Well,
what we're saying? Yeah.
I mean, you. As soon as I pick up my Bible, you say, yeah, you're cutting it short."
No, go on, keep talking. Yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, Matthew 24, and I'm
Yes.
sure those who are listening, they are very familiar with that passage of scripture. But if they are not familiar, if they have
Yeah.
their Bible somewhere around them, if they just
Mm,
turn to Matthew 24,
mm,
and and reading from the third verse downwards. I won't read it verbatim, but the Bible talks about Jesus sitting with his disciples, and he's privately talking to them now. He's not
Yeah.
talking to the multitudes. He's
Mm.
sharing with the 12 disciples that he has.
Mm.
And he says unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name. I am Christ, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And you'll hear of wars and rumors of war. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Mm. Mm.
Yes? Okay. Then it says, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places.
Yes.
All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. Ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. He then goes on to say that um, many shall be offended, and they shall betray one another, and they will hate one another. Many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive, and because of iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax
Mm.
cold. But he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom. So, God is not separate and apart from what is happening here. He's
Yeah.
not somewhere in the distance and just seeing what is taking place. I
Mm.
believe that he's very much a part of what is going on now,
Yes.
because he's informed you. Let me say that. He's informed me. He's informed his children that when we
Yes.
see these things come to pass, we must not be troubled,
Yes.
but we must take heed and look for him, look for his return. These things are the beginnings. These are the beginnings of sorrows. The birth
And
pangs
yeah.
is
So
now
so
taking hold.
yeah. So therefore, do governments are governments aware of these bits when it talks about there'll be nations rising upon nations? Who is the man of God? Are men of God going into these high offices and saying, "You need to listen. You need. I need to read this to you, right?"
Well,
Which, yeah,
well,
mm,
let me say this. Let me
yeah,
say this. That I don't think that there are. I won't say that these governments are void of godly men and women in them.
mm,
We see in the back in the Old Testament, in the times of Darius, I think it was. I believe it was. I'm not. No, oh, no, of Nebuchadnezzar.
yes,
Daniel was very much a part of the government. He was very much a part of the political machinery, but he was still God's man.
yes,
He was a president, preferred. He was one of three presidents, preferred amongst others. So I believe in our day and time,
mm,
yes, there has to be, there has to be, and let me use the word a prophet. Now,
yes,
a prophet in our day is not necessarily one of the same, I would say, prophet of the olden days or of
yes,
Bible time. But I believe the king or the prophet, the thought came to me, and I've always had it in my head, but it seemed to
yeah,
go. But the prophet in the days of the kings,
yes,
the king's door was always open to the prophet.
yes. I like that one. The king doors are always open to the
Were
prophet.
always open to the
Mm,
prophet. They could never close, because it was God's way of communicating to the king. Now
yes,
the question can be asked of our day: who amongst us is the man or the woman of God that can go, let us say, to some extent now in the UK, that can go to 10 Downing Street and
yes.
that door will open
Well,
without
ladies,
them
yeah.
having without them having to make application.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. It's God and government, and I've just heard that. I think the key word is who is a man, who is a woman, who is a man of God, woman of God, who is going to go into number 10 and speak to the government. They said the king doors are always open to the prophet. Is that so today? We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gary. Awesome. Cheers.
Bless you.
Bless you.